What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4. We are, of course, on the 9th of November, 1941. Where we stand now is we are on the brink of our actual invasion of Japan. Though, unfortunately, our number one priority is to get our Marines. We are currently out of supply, and because we are out of supply, we can't move. So our number one goal is to turn this very small island, the Caroline Island. We are going to be building up some Navy bases, some naval bases. That way we should be able to regather some supplies and continue on with our conquest. In the meantime, the more military factories we construct, the better off we will be. We, of course, need 4 more military factories to finish off our heavy fighters. And then from here on, for the rest of the game, I think we're only going to be building heavy tanks. And obviously, we are going to need a lot of tanks to just plow our way through Japan. Speaking of plowing our way through, in 15 days, I think we're going to have to start making our way through the mobile warfare doctrine, because we obviously haven't done too much with that. Every single naval battle that seems to be arising, let's take a quick glance at this naval battle. We did win every single battle that seems to be happening. It says we're getting defeated, but really we are destroying battleships, which take almost a couple months to make. So obviously, the Japanese fleet is pretty much done for. All they have left are about 19 ships, and I'm assuming that most of these are submarines and very light vessels. Taking a quick glance, we are looking for our Marines. It looks like in about 30 more days, they are going to go invade the island of the Caroline. Still waiting on our supplies. We have no national focus, so let's begin working on Scientist Haven. Getting another, research slot could be very useful. Actually, it would be very, very useful. Another thing I wanted to point out, World War II is essentially over. Germany got annihilated by Russia. So even though, I think one of the biggest reasons is, Germany here didn't necessarily take all of France. They led Vichy France, which I believe no longer exists. I think it was like fascist France or something like that. But they let that exist, and obviously because they got defeated, Free France got all of their territory back. They are, of course, democratic. Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands ceded all their territory. Norway now exists. Denmark now exists. Surprisingly enough, if we go to our factions map mode, the Comintern owns all of this territory, which actually does make sense. Research slot is available. We definitely want to start working on our land doctrines, giving more speed and organization. Looking at our construction overall, our number one priority is to start working on these tanks, though we are still going to need our 4 military factories. I just feel like they're taking way longer than they should. And we do have a little bit of excess rubber, not all that bad. Missing equipment, more unread naval combats, pretty much all victories. Air wings with no missions, don't care about you. Unassigned divisions, not going to worry about them at all. Well, maybe we will. All of these cavalry units need to join here. Non-aggression pact from Luxembourg, no thank you. We're about to have a lot of extra naval experience, and I believe, looking at our research, all of this naval experience is probably going to go into the Oregon class, but we could improve the Baltimore class one more time. You know what? Let's improve our Baltimore class. Going into production, we could even improve our destroyers. Got 2 more years of destroyers. Let's actually do that. Battleship 2. Okay, Destroyer 3, the Fletcher class. Our number one goal, ASW, what does this mean? Anti-submarine warfare. We are going to need 2 of those. Some better torpedoes. Torpedoes are good against Launchable by smaller ships. You would think they'd be obviously very good against bigger vessels. Anti-air engines. Okay. So let's see how much this is going to ruin us. Max range goes up. Everything is improving. 340 experience. Can we get better torpedoes? Only one more. That is fine. Our actual torpedo attack goes up by about 10%, maybe even 20%. Not that much. We are going to save. This, of course, is the Fletcher Class A1, the variant. Switching these on up. And there we have it. We obviously are producing quite a bit of ships. It is about to become 1942. And I would like to go ahead. I don't know why we're not on speed 5 anymore. Decryption has been unlocked. Let us start working on... It is going to be 1942, so the advanced computing machines seem like a viable option. Unread naval convoys, insufficient resources. We are lacking chromium. Let's take it from South Africa. I think we're going to need about... let's take 16. Give them 2 factories. Only because I know our production of our tanks is going to take up quite a bit. Yikes, that is very expensive. I think it's 3 chromium per unit. And yeah, that's pretty much where we stand. We have some combat here, and it looks like we won that. Or at least they ran away. Naval battle, we did get a victory. We sunk 4 convoys. Naval battle, not anything at all. These units did end up making it, which is great news. I don't really see any other Japanese islands that we can take out, except for this one. These 10 finally got their base. You need to now go find another Japanese island, if they even exist anymore. They've been beaten back so much it doesn't even make sense. So anyway, these 10, your new goal is to stage a new invasion to Taiwan. I absolutely need that province. And then, of course, if we build an air base, everything should go according to plan. And then from Taiwan, we'll go to Okinawa, and then all the way up to Kyushu and Nagasaki. Improved centimetric radar. Might as well get our final radar as well. And maybe even starting to work on our experimental rockets. And then, of course, into jet engines in 1944. Though we are a little out of time. Or earlier, I should say. How is the production coming along for our heavy tanks? Are we anywhere near 1943? Not really. I would really like to improve to the Pershing. Don't really need artillery, but we probably should unlock it. Getting it better maintenance, of course, which means more reliability. I have no national focus. Unlocking Field Special Service Forces would give us quite an abundance of companies, engineering companies, recon companies, paratroopers. So a lot of special services are going to be reduced. And we are preparing for our war to end our war with Japan, and then, of course, to launch our assault against Soviet Russia. Soviet Union in general. B-24 Liberator has been unlocked. Let's see if we can continue on down. It is not 1944, but I think unlocking the Air Cobra, the P-39, might be a good option. 44 days, so not a long time. Looks like Japan and China are... Japan is finally starting to lose some of its land. And as soon as we can, let us get some naval intel in this area. We obviously have 19 destroyers and 6 heavy cruisers. My entire goal is search and destroy in all 3 of these areas. Yikes, that is the wrong area to go in. into the South China Sea, East China Sea, and the Yellow Sea. I wonder what this means. 10 of 10. Probably some sort of like naval combat or something along those lines. Once those ships go in, we should be good to go. These 10 units are not in the right area. Ever. All 10 of you. Your entire goal now is to make your way up to Iwo Jima and then probably create a naval invasion, I suppose, to Okinawa. Looks like somebody's already landed here. Great Britain. Not bad, I suppose. Though I would have liked that island myself. We're gonna go there as well. Who owns this? Great Britain? Probably. Yep. United Kingdom. I will not join the Allies. It is not needed. Maintenance companies have been unlocked. Our B-24 Liberator needs to be improved. We are lacking a hell of a lot of chromium. We are going to take as much from South Africa as we can get. And we are going to be needing a lot of chromium. And maybe even more civilian factories to acquire the chromium. Half track has been unlocked. We are absolutely going to need more civilian factories. Not even sure if we necessarily need all of those radar stations. P-39 Air Cobra has been unlocked, which now means we should probably get the tactical bomber upgraded. Can we actually begin our improve our fleet with whatever we can, and then we should probably start working on our air doctrines. Strategic destruction seems like our viable option, only because we are going to be putting in a lot of tanks, and they are going to need some tactical bombers as assistance. So there's obviously some sort of war going on. I don't know where. Non-aggression pact from a lot of provinces. But the Soviet Union isn't in a war with anybody. First Special Forces have been unlocked. Can we make our way towards Liberty ships? Yes, we can. Giving us a 10% reduction with amphibious invasion preparation. So once again, we have some naval battles coming along. It looks like a naval... Every time I see a skull, I'm assuming we have a defeat. But maybe not. Losing some convoys, losing some convoys. The only actual naval battle we had was a victory. We took out some submarines. No reason for these units to even head on over. So now, these units that are led by Douglas MacArthur go from Iwo Jima all the way up to some sort of, I don't know, naval dockyard. But we don't really have any. So I guess Nagasaki is our best option. And now that we own this area, it looks like China has made their way over as well, creating a front line and then an offensive line. Activate when you're ready, and then you also are going to need to create a naval invasion order as well. Activate when you're ready. I hope they make their way over. I don't know what's going to happen. Looking at our construction, a lot of our factories still popping on out. We now lack resources again. 28 chromium is what we need. Let's just get about 104 chromium. And it looks like we still lack chromium, so take all the chromium we can from South Africa. And obviously trade for it. We have a surplus once again. Yikes, Japan has been invaded. Which makes me wonder. We're gonna have to invade Tokyo sometime soon. Let's go with a battle plan. Naval invasion all the way up to the area around Tokyo. These 10 need to do the same. Going on over, going on in. We're not going to activate these, but we are going to exercise a little bit on both islands. So that way we can get our experience up and running. Can we produce any heavies? Probably. Looking at our armored divisions, you all need to be heavy tanks. Heavy tank, heavy tank. I don't really know if we need motorized. I don't think we want those, so remove, 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 remove. Better yet, let me just reset everything. New division. I'm going to destroy this. Division designer. Yikes. You'd think there'd be a new one somewhere. But anyway, I guess not. Can I... Yeah, I guess we're gonna do something else. Duplicate. Tanks. This is gonna be expensive. I don't want to do this. Let's find our weakest one. Garrison Brigade. We're gonna duplicate. Title you heavy tanks. Okay, your number one goal is to get the most elite tanks. You are going to be our... let's go with that. You obviously need engineering companies. You obviously need maintenance companies, recon companies, signal companies, and logistics companies. All of these guys can be removed. Your number one goal is to make you into a heavy tank. Heavy tank. Heavy tank. And then, I don't know how much this is going to cost. 120 heavy tanks per regiment. I would like a lot more, but we'll do that for now. How many heavy tanks do we even have? Probably not many. 147 in total. So we'll see as time goes on. Let's continue upgrading our doctrines. Interception, detection, or ground support plus 10%. Should I begin my invasion? It looks like Great Britain is going to get its butt kicked. Well, I don't know. They retook the port. We are obviously doing whatever invasions we can. It doesn't look like Japan has any islands left here in the Pacific. Though there's obviously going to be like one or two really small islands that I'm probably missing. But it looks like we got them all. How is our construction coming along? It's coming. It's coming. We are producing about 6 tanks a day. Maybe not even that much. Maybe about 5. But I want to keep producing heavy tanks. And better yet, making our way closer and closer to our modern tank. I don't know if the UK looks like they're going to be successful. And they're being invaded by Australia. I guess we could stop exercising. Once we're done getting our experience, we'll stop exercising. Non-aggression pact, no thank you. I'm really going to need some islands around here somewhere. Taking a quick glance at our construction, getting us some better radar stations around here in Guam, here in Hawaii, here in, I believe this is Midway, and then Wake Island, Marcus Island. I don't know if we need them here, but definitely Iwo Jima. We now have free military factories once again. We are going to get none other than our heavy tanks. And of course, now we lack chromium. We're probably going to be lacking steel sometime soon as well, which might even mean changing up our trade policies once again. Okay, looking for trade. We now need chromium. I think getting it from the Soviet Union's not a good idea. What about Free France? I don't like the Allies, but I don't like the Commonwealth more. We're going to need a lot more than that. Let's go at our trade. Go to Free France. Give them about 5 factories for 40 chromium. And now we only have a surplus of 22. I could start working on the Manhattan Project. Doesn't really seem all that useful. I could also start working on Battleship Primacy. 50% research bonuses to our battleships. And what else can I do? Changing from an export focus down to... Wow. I would like to go to limited exports. But... I don't think we could do that if I'm not democratic. Infrastructure destruction. Yeah, now would be the time to assault Japan. Let's stop exercising. And activate you when you're ready. Let's give you a little bit of organization. You guys are almost done, so maybe I'll wait. Looks like Elastic Defense is finished up. Working our way down towards Blitzkrieg. And better decryption. Any moment now. I think our weakest unit is at 77%. And probably 20 days at the most. Siamese Empire has capitulated. Japan will be next. And it looks like Canada has even sailed their way over to Japan. Free civilian factories once again. Starting to wonder. I probably would like one more unit of heavies. So looking at construction, or better yet, production in general. One more thing of heavy tanks seems like a viable plan. Now we have 5 in total. Can I build more factories? Most likely. I might even want to build a few synthetic refineries. Because obviously trading for rubber doesn't seem like a viable option either. Okay, you look like you're good to go in just a moment. Stopping our exercising. You are going to be executed. And you are... We lack the sufficient intel. That is odd. That hasn't happened in a while. All 19 of you are going to protect these areas. And still waiting on these units. Activate and activate. There are no units assigned to this order, yay. B-23 Dragon. Here they go. Advanced Centrometric Radar. I guess we're attacking Tokyo itself. Didn't really feel like it, but here we go. I don't know if we've been repelled or what. Oh, there is our invasion. Taking over Tokyo. We have now taken Tokyo, a textbook operation. Once all of our units make their way over, our plan will pretty much be the same. We already have our front line, but we don't have an offensive line. So I guess doing something like that might be a viable plan. How close is Japan to capitulation? Very, very close. It appears they don't have a lot of national unity. Activate, activate. And we are about to move. I don't know who is where. I guess we'll find out in a moment. Alright, this group is going to go like that. Activate when you're ready. Activate when you're ready. This group is going to go like this. And I would like to take that island as well. Something like that. I have no idea if that's going to happen, but we'll see what happens. And obviously taking this city is going to give us quite a bit of victory points. Nagoya has fallen. I feel like they are going to surrender any moment now. And making our way towards their last capital, the Soviet Union declaring war on Iraq. All these units are taking attrition. Japan has capitulated. Very, very good news. Like I said, we are still producing quite a bit of tanks, though we lack chromium again. Take as much as we can. We need 55. Let's just take 104. Now we have a surplus of 8. Still, we're going to need a lot more than that. We currently have free military factories. I don't know if we're going to build any more heavy tanks. Probably building up our airplanes might be a viable option. Such as some heavy fighters. We have the oil, we have the rubber, but we don't have the aluminum. So now, looking at our trade, we might want to switch up our trade laws. It is almost 1943, so I think we are going to research the new heavy tank. Let's begin working on streamlined production. And better yet, obviously the best construction we can find. So who is left in this war? Manchukuo, Manchukuo, and Iraq, all in the American-Venezuelan War. Iraq is probably going to get annihilated. Can we create a few naval invasions? Well, we are certainly going to try. Activate, activate. How many heavy tanks do we have available? 1.2 thousand. We're making 10 every single day. But still, it doesn't feel like a lot. We have a lot of naval factories available. Only 5, so not all that many. I think what we probably should do is start working on some actual carriers. Well, I don't know. Yeah, let's start working on some carriers. We still lack rubber, now we lack aluminum. Any minute now, there are no units assigned to the orders. Go figure. No divisions assigned, no divisions assigned. Activate when ready. Hope it doesn't take this long. 12 of 35 days. 13 of 35 days. We have a new research that we can unlock. Let's go with experimental rockets. It's going to be fun if we can get jet engines. China has taken over South Korea. Everybody is just continuing to grow. And I'm excited to see what provinces we're actually going to take. Waiting 6 more days at the most. And then we will have, obviously, the port city. I have free civilian factories. Let's go ahead, maybe make a few refineries. That way we don't have to keep continually trading for rubber. And maybe even getting some better radar stations. But obviously I don't think I want to keep building up here if I don't need it. But obviously, what I'm trying to say is if we have islands, which we obviously do, that are part of our territory, such as this island down here in Alaska. Might as well build up our radar stations, especially like Wake Island, Honolulu, some of these provinces. There is no telling who we're going to be at war with next. Obviously, building up Puerto Rico as much as we can. And maybe even somebody like Maine. Alaska in general. Seattle in general. And I suppose California. That's a lot of radar, but I think we'll be good to go. We lack the sufficient intel. That needs to change. Let's take these 19 ships, search and destroy here inside all of these areas. I wonder, do we have any other boats? Probably. This navy is going to hold search and destroy here and all of these areas. It's not very many, but it's obviously a lot more than Japan. Here comes some units, supposedly, maybe. There should be 10 and 10. Activate, activate. I don't know why we're not even near the port. Yikes, destroy, destroy. And we have a foothold. Can we take the city? That's going to be the question. It looks like someone's beat us there. Who is this? The Socialist Republic of Germany. We are going to need some sort of naval base, though, or all of these units are going to take attrition and die. But I wonder if this is probably the Iraq needs to die as well. And here we go. We are finally going to get a lot of our war score. My number one priority, though, is I need Iwo Jima. I would like a lot of these islands. Maybe especially Taiwan. Yikes, that's not even enough. Let's end our turn. We have Iwo Jima. I need some sort of ability or some sort of garrison where I can do a naval invasion and basically invade the Soviet Union from the east. And I think we can pull our tanks in from Korea. Okay, so now we have North Korea, Iwo Jima. I would like Okinawa. And as soon as I can, let's take some of these islands. And some of the cheaper ones as well. Like Marcus Island, all of you. Oh, can't take you. I'm going to pass for one turn. Pass for another turn. Take the rest of these islands if I can. And it looks like that's all of them. I'm going to be upset if I missed one, but I think we're good to go. And finally, starting to chip away at Japan itself. Taking the islands to the bottom. And we are good to go. We didn't really gain a lot of area. We are still in a war with Japan, I think. Hold on, pausing the game. The games are concluded. Are we still in a war with Japan? I hope not. We are in no war at all. So now we are definitely going to be preparing for a war against the Soviet Union. Though China is growing very, very powerful. Are they neutral? They are communist as well. So we're probably going to be the Chinese United Front. They're not going to be in a war with the Comintern, because they're obviously not in the same faction. But I really do feel like this is going to be very, very bloody. So we need to do everything in our power to ensure that we are able to invade the Comintern and then make a very powerful push across Siberia. Well, thank you all for joining me. It always is a pleasure, and I will see you in our next adventure.